Number 10. Fukuoka's Castle and Ancient Festivals. One of the few surviving examples of the once prolific and majestic hilltop homes, preferred by shoguns and city rulers, Fukuoka Castle is one of the highlights of a visit to Fukuoka. Once part of a massive complex that covered an area of some 47,000 square meters, this beautiful castle still impresses with its size and its position on a tall foundation overlooking the Naka River. Fukuoka is also well known for its many events and festivals, in particular the Hakatajan Yamakasa, a famous 2-week-long, 700-year-old celebration held each July that draws millions of visitors from across the country to its colorful parades, as well as its traditional races and costumes. Number 9. The Izuta Shrine, Nagoya. The Izuta Shrine, in the heart of the city of Nagoya, is the most important Shinto shrine in Japan, attracting more than 5 million visitors each year. Established in the 1st century, this religious site is famous for its preserved imperial insignia, the grass-mowing sword, Kusanagi no Tsurugi, one of only 3 in the country. Number 8. Busangaku National Park, and the Japanese Alps. Japan boasts a number of outstanding areas of natural beauty, many of them designated as national parks or, in some cases, UNESCO World Heritage Sites. One of the country's most spectacular parks is Busangaku National Park, in the center of Honshu, incorporating in its northern and central regions the group of mountains collectively referred to as the Hita Mountains, or Japanese Alps. The region contains some of the highest peaks in the country, including Hitaka at 3,190 meters, and Uri at 3,180 meters. Number 7. Osaka Castle, built in 1586 by famous Japanese warrior and politician Toyotomi Hideyoshi, Osaka Castle was at the time the largest and most important fortress in the country. Although destroyed and rebuilt a number of times since, the present structure, built in 1931, remains true to the original. Highlights of a visit include the huge 5-story, 42-meter-tall main tower built on an imposing 14-meter-tall stone base and home to a number of displays detailing the history of the castle and the city. Be sure to visit the top floor for its superb views over Osaka. Number 6. Temple City, historic Nara. For centuries the hub of Japanese culture, the lovely unspoiled city of Nara is home to a large number of historic buildings, along with important national treasures and works of art. In addition to its many historic streets, the city boasts numerous important old temples, including the magnificent 7th-century Kofukuji Temple, and perhaps the best known of the 7 great temples of Nara, the splendid 8th-century Tadaiji Great East Temple, famous for its huge bronze statue of the great Buddha Daibutsu, cast here in AD 749. Also of interest in Tadaiji are its Great South Gate Nandimon, a two-story structure borne on 18 columns with two Nyo statues standing 8 meters tall and guarding the temple entrance. And the Hall of the Great Buddha, the world's largest timber building. Number 5. The island shrine of Itsukushima. Just a short ferry ride from mainland Hiroshima is the island of Miyajima, famous the world over as Japan's Shrine Island. Covering an area of 30 square kilometers in Hiroshima Bay, Miyajima is best known as the home of the Itsukushima Shrine, a Shinto temple dedicated to the princess daughters of the wind god Susanoo. Dating from the 8th century, the majority of the shrine's buildings rise out of the waters of a small bay supported only by piles. Number 4. Historic Kyoto. One of Japan's most visited cities, lovely Kyoto, one of the few cities in the country to be spared the devastation of World War II, attracts more than 10 million visitors annually to explore its fine old streets and architecture, much of it unchanged since the imperial family took up residence here more than 1,000 years ago. Even then, the city was Japan's most important cultural center, a legacy that continues with its many museums and art galleries, each bursting with important sculptures, paintings, and other art forms. Number 3. Hiroshima Peace Memorial Park. While little need be said here of the horrors of the atomic bombing of Hiroshima in August 1945, much can be said of the incredible efforts this vibrant city has made to commemorate the many victims of the world's first nuclear attack, and perhaps even more importantly, the symbol of lasting peace Hiroshima has since become. Visited by more than 1 million people each year, many from overseas. Number 2. Imperial Tokyo. Tokyo's most famous landmark, the Imperial Palace, with its beautiful 17th-century parks surrounded by walls and moats, is a must-see when visiting the nation's capital. Don't be put off by the fact that the majority of the palace is closed to the public, as there is still enough to see simply by strolling the grounds. In addition to the many fine views of the palace from numerous points in the surrounding parkland, including the famous Nijubashi Bridge, or Double Bridge, so named for its watery reflection, visitors are permitted into the East Higashi-gyon Garden, one of the few areas open to the public. Number 1. Mount Fuji, without a doubt Japan's most recognizable landmark, majestic Mount Fuji. Fuji-san is also the country's highest mountain peak, towering 3,776 meters over an otherwise largely flat landscape to the south and east, tall enough to be seen from Tokyo more than 100 kilometers away. Mount Fuji has for centuries been celebrated in art and literature, and is now considered so important an icon that UNESCO recognized its world cultural significance in 2013. Part of the Fuji-Hakonizu National Park, Mount Fuji is climbed by more than 1 million people each summer as an active pilgrimage that culminates in watching the sunrise from its summit.